Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about why your self-worth isn't based on others' opinion of you. Because our self-worth comes from within. We are born with self-worth. Psalms 139 and verse 14 tells you that I praise you God, because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And God's works are always marvelous. We don't have to do anything to ourselves to make ourselves even more spectacular or beautiful. God made us creatively in his image, so we are already fearfully and wonderfully made. I have 8 reasons why we are already valuable. So let's get into it. Number 1, self-worth comes from within. That's right, our self-worth comes from within. It doesn't come from the external validation that we think that we need on a daily basis. Our self-worth comes from within. It comes from the way how we see ourselves. Let me see if I can prop this up here so I don't gotta look over here. I'm still gonna look anyways. It comes from the way we see ourselves, the way how we show up in the world, the way how we show up for others, the way how we respond to chaos in our life and stuff like that. Our self-worth comes from within. We already have all the tools that makes us worthy in the sight of God, because why? He already created us fearfully and wonderfully made. There's nothing that we have to do to prove to anyone that we are valuable. We don't even have to prove to God that we are valuable, because sometimes we try to prove ourselves even to God, which is kind of crazy because he's the one that made us. Your self-worth doesn't come from the external, it comes from within, because you are born that way. Number 2, you are born worthy. Like I was saying, it comes from within. You already have that value already. You don't need to earn it by trying to prove yourself with different achievement. And I've seen people do that. I've done it myself, thinking that, oh, if I achieve this degree, or if I have this status in life, then it makes me more valuable. But no, my value is already here by myself. Whether I earn $1 billion, whether I earn fame or not, whether I'm even a homeless person on the street, I'm still valuable in the sight of God. I still have self-worth. I don't need to prove anything. I don't have to earn anything. I don't have to do anything extra to achieve anything extra that this world wants to tell you to achieve to become worthy, because I'm already worthy, right? You're already worthy. You're already worthy. Tell yourself, I'm already worthy. I have worth because I exist. Number 2, and I don't need to earn it with an extra achievement. If you do get achievement, fine. But if you do get these extra achievement and you attain this height of status in life, that is fine. I'm not saying anything is wrong with getting achievement or having ambition. What I'm saying is that those things don't give you the self-worth. You already have that self-worth without achieving anything in this life. Number 3, chasing approval kills your authenticity. Authenticity. That word ties up my tongue, but either way, chasing approval kills your authenticity. Last week we was talking about how we know that we are losing ourselves, and a part of that is when your authentic self is no longer valuable. All you're seeing is all these different pieces of a pattern that you have put together for yourself, trying to fit into everybody's mold, and so you have lost touch with who you are authentically. So when we are chasing approval that we already have internally, remember that. When we are chasing external approval for our self-worth's sake, we are losing ourselves, and we are losing that authentic person that we are, because we are chipping away of who we are on the inside to fit into different spaces and to make ourselves more palatable to others, while others should value us for who we are authentically, and not want us to conform to their standards. But that's how the world is. If you're not conforming to the world standards, they kind of cast yourself and put you in a corner by yourself, in a little box, and call you the weird one when they're the weird one. And most people don't want to be put in a corner. Most people don't want to be feel as if to say they are not special, and so they chip away at their self to fit into what society wants them to fit into, what their friend group wants them to look like. The person that you were in the beginning, you don't know, you no longer recognize that person, and it takes a hell of a time to chip off and strip off that those little things that you piece together to make that new self. It takes a lot to strip off those things so that you can see yourself authentically and once more. Yes, it takes a lot and it's painful, because when you get back to being your authentic self, you have to do a cleansing. You have to do a cleansing of breaking away and stripping away all the residue of what's left behind from the thought patterns that you picked up from trying to people please and to fit into everyone's shape and everyone's mold. So it's best to know and to understand that your self-worth is already within, and so that you don't lose yourself into trying to please others. Hold on to who you are authentically, knowing that God has already created you faithfully and wonderfully made. If we can hold on to that thought pattern from a young age, if we can hold on to that thought pattern and know that we are already worthy without having to seek others' validation, we won't have to get back to ourselves like we were talking about last week. We won't have to do all those things to try to remember who we are internally. And your internal self is there, it's just covered up under all the things that you have put over yourself in order to fit into the shape and into the mold. But you are still in there. If you feel that you have lost yourself, you're still in there authentic, you're still in there. You just need to remove the things that you have placed on yourself in order to fit into society, or to fit into a friend group, or to fit into whatever mold you try to fit in. Yourself is still there. Just chip it away. Just begin to take it off and remember that your value is within. It's that from your achievement. Number 4, people project their insecurity upon you. And a lot of times we take on the things that people project onto us and thinking that it's a part of us, but that's not us. That's what others have projected onto us. And a lot of times, sometimes those things has caused us to become so hard on ourselves, and we begin to look on the labels that others placed on us. And that's a reason why you have to know who you are, and that's the reason why you have to know where your worth is and understand who you are authentically. Because if you don't know who you are on the inside, when others project their own insecurities and their own criticisms onto you, you're gonna take it on the inside. And I've been at that place where people have taken on what others have said about me, and then looking back now, I can see, well, hey, what that person was saying about me wasn't true about me. That's what that person was feeling about themselves. And so they projected it onto me, and because I didn't know any better, I took it onto myself. So that's another reason why you have to be able to discern and know, is this thought that this person is saying, is this true of me? It's this person trying to project onto me what they're feeling about themselves. So you have to be able to discern what kind of criticism you're getting. Is this criticism something to make me better, or is this criticism something that is trying to bring down my self-confidence and my self-worth? Number 5, you are not your mistake. We all make mistakes. Every human person make a mistake. It is what we do after we make a mistake. Do we learn from that mistake? Do we grow from that mistake? Do we evolve from that mistake? Or do we stay the same and shift the blame to others? Do we own up to our mistakes, right? Because we all make mistakes. If somebody is acting perfect and acting as if to say they don't make mistake, that person is lying to themselves. Because as a human person, you're gonna make a mistake. Sometime in your life, you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna do something wrong. You're gonna say something wrong. You're gonna offend somebody. We gonna make a mistake, but what are you gonna do after you've made the mistake? Are you able to overcome that mistake, or are you gonna wallow within that mistake? And that's where you have to remember self-worth. Nope. Fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am fearfully and wonderfully made by my creator, and that I make mistakes, but I am not a mistake. I am not the mistakes that I make. I can grow, I can learn, and I can evolve. If I'm not learning and I'm not growing and I'm not evolving from my mistake, it means somewhere along the line you are looking at that mistake incorrectly. So you have to correct that, change, learn from your mistake, and grow. Number 6, validation. Seeking of validation is addictive, but it's not fulfilling. Seeking validation is addictive, but it's not fulfilling. And the reason is like this candy, right? Is I have like chocolate inside of here, but I'm not even supposed to be eating. But seeking validation is sweet, it's pleasant, and when you get that validation, it kind of like you on a spiritual high, right? But you come crashing down after a while, because that validation only lasts for so long. So what you do, you try to seek validation again, and it becomes addicted to get validation from others. But the thing is, just like this candy is not filling, and it's not it's rewarding for a time, it's pleasurable, but it's not filling for my body. Over time, if I eat too much candy, it's gonna cause damage to my kidneys, to my liver, because I'm gonna develop diabetes. That validation is the same thing. When you get so much validation, is that you no longer know how to do anything for enjoyment. All you're gonna be doing it is just to get the attention. You become an attention-seeking person. Validation, as good as it is, it can be addictive, and it's not fulfilling to the person that you are on the inside. Now, if I take some what's that, like broccoli, cauliflower, something that I may not like, but it's good for me, it's gonna fill me up, it's rewarding to the body, it's nourishing to the body, but it may not be pleasant. Some of the hardest things that we don't want to enjoy is good for us in the long run. And sometimes not getting the validation is the best thing for us, because it means that you're doing something for your own self, and not for the approval of others, not for the attention seeking of others, right? So it's good not to get that validation. It's good that others may not recognize you for what you're doing. It's good at times. It may be the best thing for you, because you don't have that added pressure of having to perform for anybody. You just do it for your own self. And it's the most freeing thing that you can ever do. It's that we are doing something for your own pleasure, and not for the attention and the approval of others. It's the most freeing thing that you can ever do for yourself. Number 7 is that you can't control others. As much as we try to people please and do everything in our powers to make others stay in our good graces, we can't control others. We can't control the way how others treat us. We can't control the way how others see us. We just can't control others. The only person that we can control is ourselves, and at times we can't even do that. We need the grace of God and the Holy Spirit to tame us into being correct and proper human beings, because we can go haywire sometimes. So you got to remember that you can't control anyone. You can't control a person's behavior. If you're trying to control a person's behavior, you're falling into the category of becoming a manipulator. And nobody wants to be a manipulator, because manipulators are a dangerous ground spiritually walking in witchcraft. If you're a believer, if you're a Christian and you're trying to manipulate others, you're on the dangerous ground of walking into witchcraft. So be mindful of that. Number 8, opinions are temporary. Someone will tell you you are the greatest person today, and tomorrow that same person is gonna turn around and don't like you. Say the nastiest things about you. So that's why it's good to know who you are on the inside. Hold on to who you are on the inside, because opinions are temporary. Look what they did to Jesus. They called Jesus the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and everything, right? On one week. And by the end of the week, they were saying crucify him, change him for Barabbas. So opinions are temporary, and people change their opinions of you all the time. You change your opinions of others all the time. So why should you think that your self-worth is coming from others and not from within? Well, when others' opinions of you is so temporary, it can change just like that. Just like that, and a person's opinion of you changes, and there's nothing you can do to change back their opinion. They have to change their opinion of you for themselves, right? So that's another reason for us not to seek the validation of others, not to look on the outside of ourselves for our self-worth, because our self-worth comes from within. Our self-worth comes from within. You and I existence means that we are worthy. It means we already have self-worth because we are existing. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are breathing, you have self-worth. As long as you are existing on this earth, you have self-worth. It's within. You just got to look within. And sometimes you have to dig deep to find it, because you have covered it over, like I said in the beginning, with so much junk and gunk, so that you have to cast off all those things to find your self-worth. But it's there. It may be hidden under a pile of trash, the trashy thoughts, and the low self-esteem, and all these different things that we think about ourselves. It's there. It's there. We may have to dig a little deep to find it and pull it and dust it off and clean it off, but our self-worth is there. It's within. It's inherent. It's within us already. It's not from the external things. All right? So these are the reasons, some of the reasons why you don't have to get your self-worth from others. And my special one is that opinions, because we are so tied down and sometimes so bogged down with the opinions of others. The things that others say about us can keep us down in so many ways, and keep us tied and caged to an opinion. So yeah, this is what I have for you guys for you today, and I will see you in our next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. We'll never know what this information can do for someone else. I'll see you guys in the next video. Toodles.